welcome to my latest video. Okay, 4th of July is not too far away, so I wanted to do a 4th of July theme project. And of course, I relied on my favorite Dollar Tree to get my supplies. So here's my question. What do you do with a plastic tablecloth, a foam round floral thingy, and a whole bunch of beads? Well, if you watch the video, you're gonna find out. And if you love the video, please post it on Facebook, like it, and share it on Pinterest. I would really appreciate it. And watch this. All right, here are the basic ingredients, including some lights. Plus I have the floral ring, a floral wire, and that is a plastic white tablecloth. At this point, I'm cutting out all these beads and then I do take them apart. What you do is take the floral foam, and I'm going to mark it about every 3 inches because I'm going to do the draping. And now what I'm doing with the red beads is a little hot glue, of course, and then I'm going to start the first series of drapes. So I go around multiple times and I do about 3 drapes to make it kind of decorative. And I flip it over, and now I start hot gluing on the blue beads, and it's row after row after row. It's pretty cool how they work out. Of course, I'm speeding it up now because you kind of get the idea. I was also pretty impressed at how well they stuck to the foam. They're on there pretty good. Okay, so there's the last one of the blue row. So I have 3 drapes of red and the blue. Now I'm getting out my famous chopsticks, and what I did was I pressed like a starter hole and then pressed another hole all the way through just to get an idea. And actually I was really impressed by doing it this way. It's really sturdy. The beads are surprisingly heavy and it actually holds it really well. From Crafter's Companion, I used their center circle dies, and they're just fantastic. I love the circle in the center. I've used it a ton of times. Part of the reason why I used a plastic tablecloth was I wanted to make sure it could withstand the elements outside, unlike tissue paper that I've done in other projects, which I'll link to at the end of this video. I wanted it to be able to handle the weather, and so it's perfect. What really surprised me is how many layers you could make in one pass. Here's how I set it up. There's my base plate, there's my shim. Then I'm flipping, you'll see in a second, this over because I want the metal to face up, because you always want it to cut against the clear plastic. And then I stick it in the Gemini, which we all love that machine, and cut it. And it finishes up, and you'll see in just a second, there you go. And I made a ton of these, and they work perfect. Okay, so let's make some flowers with all those circles that I cut out. And I basically folded them up and I started to glue on the wreath. And then you'll see in a second, I'm like, nah, it was actually easier just to glue on the bottom point of that little flower. So you can see me doing it there. Obviously it takes a lot of flowers, and I actually started on the top because I wanted to cover up all the little plastic bead tops. So this is what I'm covering first and foremost. Okay, now that that's covered, I flipped it over, got all the beads out of the way, and now I'm going to start adding all the little flowers and petals to the opposite side. And you just keep gluing. Glue, 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 glue. I wanted to add here before I went on that I did hot glue where the chopsticks actually were attached, just to make sure it stays put. I always love it when I see a project start to come together, so you just kind of fluff it up, and I got rid of the little glue stringies. And now this is hard to see, but I used fishing line, and what I did was I just tied a piece of fishing line on all 4 edges of my chopsticks. Then what you're going to see in a minute is it's really all about balance. This is actually a very heavy piece with all the beads on it, and so I just wanted to make sure I was going to have a nice balanced wreath so it didn't look cockeyed. So you have to play with it a little bit once you get everything tied on and get it measured out. Okay, so here I'm just making the knot. I've got it balanced, and so I make a really good secure knot, and then I'm just going to trim up the edges.
At this point, of course, I could stop, but I need to add more. I want it to light up at night. So now I'm using some of that floral wire. I'm just going to make a little round kind of circle to make sure it holds it in place. I'm also going to hot glue that down. So there I am hot gluing it. You hot glue both sides and you just want to make sure it's secure and again pretty well balanced. Now this is really hard to see, but once again this is my fishing line. I just took one long piece. I looped it through my chopsticks right there where it crosses and meets. And now I'm going to hot glue them. I tied them and now I'm going to hot glue them to the sides because again I want it to sit balanced and upright when it's sitting down inside the project. Okay, so here's what it looks like hanging, and that looks pretty good, but I thought let's do something else, of course. So it's kind of like creating a ponytail. I sort of figured out where I wanted it to gather and then used more fishing line and then tied the fishing line right there at the bottom of it. And then in a second you're going to see exactly how that looks when you hang it up. And again, that looks pretty good. You could stop there. Okay, I couldn't stop myself, so what I did was I made a little bar using a piece of the chopstick, tied the fishing line right in the center of it, ran it up through there, and then used it to lift the whole thing up and then secured the top of the fishing line to the X portion of the chopstick. I apologize, I did not shoot video of this, but you kind of get the idea, and then that's how it turned out. So I want to show another version, again, floral foam. This time it's kids hula skirt and a lei. So here I am with the kids hula skirt, and again, this is all from the Dollar Tree. And this is a pretty fast and easy project. So it's great if you're doing like a luau or a birthday theme party or whatever, having a celebration, or you just want to decorate your outdoors. When you cut the lei, it's going to unravel, so what I did was I put a little dot of hot glue on both ends of the lei so the little flowers stayed put. And then I just went around the outside, and the flowers are nice and puffy and big, and so I just hot glued that strand onto the outside of it. I probably in hindsight would add one more strand on the very top, but you really don't see it when the project's finished. I'm just kind of anal like that. All right, so I took fishing line, and I swear I steal it from my husband's fishing pole, and he doesn't know, so he's probably not going to be happy when he figures out how much I've used of his fishing line. But anyway, I tied two pieces. I tied both sides, obviously, then took the second piece, and now I'm tying it the opposite way on both sides. And once again, you just want to make sure these are really balanced and even. So you'll see I actually cut it, and then I made it even again. I'm going to knot it just like I did the other one. And this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I knot it, put a little hot glue, I don't want it to slip and slide, and then with some of that floral wire that I had, I just made a hook because I figured out that was a pretty easy way to hook it. And then because I can't let anything go, I wanted to cover the hook so no one saw it. So I had a little bit of the lei petals left, so I used one there, and then I turned it around, glued it, I hot glue it, and then lay the other one there. So I hide the little hook. It's nothing needs to be seen. All right, now here's what it looks like when it's hanging up. But once again, if you watch my videos, you know I just can't let it be, although I think it looks pretty festive and fun. So like earlier, what I did is I took a rubber band, and again, I just, like you would your hair, I made a ponytail, and then I took my leftover flowers and I glued those all the way around the bottom. And there we go. I hung it back up in the tree. Also, I figured out I could nestle one of those little lights down at the bottom of it, and it worked kind of perfect. If you can, please share my video on Facebook, and if you can, pin it on Pinterest. And thank you so much for watching it, and definitely check out my other videos. Have an awesome day.